not be denied.
Introduced as a cosmic entity capable of consuming entire universes, Galactus is inarguably one of the most dangerous villains in the Marvel Universe. His character was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, all the way back in the Fantastic Four comics in 1965, and he's continued to be quite a menace, even in recent story arc. Among other destructive activities, Galactus has consumed entire planets, punished the Silver Surfer for trying to save humanity, and even massacred large populations. We'll be exploring his top 10 darkest moments and tell you all about his misadventures across the Marvel Universe. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Galactus convinces the last of his people to die. To kick off this list, Galactus' evil actions can be traced all the way back to his origins, which were revealed in the Thor comics by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Galactus reveals that he had spent his early life as a Galen on the planet of Ta, where the entire population had been suffering from a cosmic plague. While the planet's residents were almost on the verge of complete extinction, Galactus encouraged them to wipe themselves out before the plague got to them. He put a spin on the situation and proposed that they should fly into the sun and die in glory instead of waiting for their illnesses to become fatal. Interestingly, all the survivors listened to him and fly into the sun rather than waiting to succumb to the plague, while Galactus somehow becomes imbued with the power cosmic. He then assumed his glorious form and went from being a mere mortal to a cosmic horror entity, who soon realized that the only way for him to survive is by consuming entire planets. The consumption of the Skrull homeworld, Skrullos. In no time, Galactus figured out that he needed to consume planets to sustain himself, and he gained a reputation as the destroyer of worlds. Among these planets, he once targeted Skrullos, home to the Skrull, and his actions had disastrous consequences for the species. While Galactus had caused plague, massacred, and worldwide crises, very few of these planets suffered as much as the Skrull. He managed to instigate a civil war, a refugee crisis, and even kickstarted the secret invasion storyline, and the sheer magnitude of devastation turned Skrullos into a cautionary tale. In the Fantastic Four comics written by John Byrne, Galactus is seen at a crossroad as he wonders if he should finally die or consume yet another planet to sustain himself. However, he soon decided to go ahead and ensure his survival and targeted the home world of the Skrull. This soon gave way to a civil war, and the Skrulls continued to be at odds with one another for an extended period, even after their planet's destruction. Many of them also traveled to Earth and laid the foundation for the secret invasion story arc, and Galactus' decision to destroy Skrullo had such a long-term impact that far more Skrulls died in the aftermath of the planet's destruction. He was such a force of nature that it took decades and decades for the refugee species to stabilize themselves, and his actions often had dire consequences for the entire universe. Punishing Silver Surfer for compassion. We have known Galactus to be a ruthless villain who would not hesitate to destroy entire homeworld and species for his gain, and there's no chance of him going easy when facing a single entity. Such was the case of the Silver Surfer, who once existed as a native, being named Norrin Radd, on the planet of Zenla. When Galactus threatened to consume Zenla, Radd stepped up to offer himself as a new herald in exchange for his world's safety, and Galactus jumped at this opportunity to turn him into the Silver Surfer. He even went as far as to suppress his moral in the hopes that he would guide Galactus towards other populated planets, such as Tarsus, but he eventually failed to corrupt him, even though the Silver Surfer led him to opponents such as the murderous Kalrike, the Unconquerable. He soon had a change of heart after bringing his master to Earth. While Uatu, the Watcher, had done everything in his power to hide Earth from Galactus, he made his way here, while Alicia Master somehow helped the Silver Surfer get in touch with his buried moral. At this point, Galactus had already defeated the Fantastic Four when the Silver Surfer barged in and sided with the team to get rid of Galactus. In the meantime, Uatu sent the Human Torch on a mission to get the Ultimate Nullifier to subdue Galactus and bully him into sparing Earth. While this attempt was successful, Galactus was furious with the Silver Surfer for betraying him and showing compassion towards humans. He even went as far as to trap him on Earth with no means to return to his homeworld to teach him a lesson. Obliterating New Corbin. Extinction of Beta Ray Bills' people. The Skrulls' homeworld was not the only planet that Galactus had been credited with destroying, and he once even drove Beta Ray Bill's race towards extinction. Hailing from the planet of Corbin, Beta Ray Bill had endured all kinds of drastic experiments to save his homeworld from its prophesied destruction. Unfortunately, his efforts failed to save the planet from the wrath of Galactus, even after Beta Ray Bill established New Corbin in order to save his species. Soon enough, Galactus devoured this planet in an attempt to satiate his hunger and mark the end of another civilization for his own benefit. Despite Beta Ray Bills' best effort, New Corbin's destruction pretty much resulted in the extinction of his species, while Bill went back to his destiny as a wandering hero, consuming Sakar and causing Scar's tragedy. Galactus also played a huge role in the destruction of Sakar, the planet famously known for being the place where Hulk had finally found love with Kyra, the Old Straw. In the final bits of the Planet Hulk story arc, Hulk departed from Sakar to chase the Illuminati after one of their spacecrafts malfunctioned and allegedly resulted in his beloved wife's death. With Hulk nowhere to be found, Galactus made his way to devour Sakar while the planet was suffering from a tectonic disaster. With all the power of the Old Straw, Kyra somehow manifested the strength to communicate with her son, Scar, and convince him to evacuate the planet before Galactus gets there. Unfortunately, Scar was arrogant about his ability to defeat Galactus when he finally arrived, and there wasn't much time to evacuate the entire planet. In her last moment, Kyra sacrificed herself alongside the population of Sakar, while barely succeeding in sending Scar away to Earth in the nick of time. The Annihilation Wave, Galactus used as a weapon of mass destruction. Even though Galactus was known as the Devourer of Worlds, some powerful forces, such as Annihilus, once tried to use him as a weapon in their grand scheme. In this story arc, Annihilus managed to capture Galactus and then use him to lead an army that would wipe out all his life in the universe. Even though Annihilus was hopeful about his plan, he underestimated Galactus' power, and the latter soon broke free from his control. To make things worse, Galactus was humiliated by the fact that he was being used to do someone's bidding, and he unleashed a blast so powerful that he wiped out entire star system, as well as Annihilus' army as revenge. Even after unleashing such a large-scale attack with irreversible consequences, Galactus somehow had the strength to teleport some beings to a remote planet, which speaks volumes about his casual approach towards destruction and death. Galactus unleashing the Black Winter. Galactus briefly stirred up trouble in the Asgardian homeworld when he approached Thor and informed him about the arrival of the Black Winter. Introduced as a cosmic entity with the power to consume entire universes, the Black Winter was known to be far more powerful than Galactus, and it was only at the end that Galactus revealed that he was the one to unleash it all along. Initially, Galactus made it seem like he could step in and help Thor defeat the Black Winter, and that he needed to consume 5 planets to gain the power to succeed. While Thor readily helped Galactus in this mission, and even evacuated these worlds to make it easier for Galactus to devour them, he eventually learned that Galactus was Black Winter's herald. Thor was furious over Galactus' betrayal, and even drained him of all his power before using his body as a bomb to decimate the Black Winter. But at the end of the day, Galactus managed to return stronger than ever. The creation and betrayal of Tyrant. While Galactus was mad with power, it often gets lonely at the top, and even the destroyer of worlds felt the need for some companionship. He then decided to create a ruthless entity known as Tyrant to keep him company. But things went south when the two of them ended up in a major conflict. Galactus' loneliness eventually resulted in the creation of a rogue entity who caused a whole lot of war and destruction, and it was nearly impossible to bring him under control. While Tyrant kept reappearing on numerous occasions, Galactus' new herald, Morg the Executioner, finally sacrificed himself to get rid of Tyrant with the help of the ultimate nullifier. Destruction of Archopia, the first victim. When Galen first transformed into Galactus, he was not driven by his bloodlust and hunger for entire planet. Beginning, Galactus would find himself satiated after feeding on uninhabited planets. But over time, he realized that his hunger had grown to a point where he needed to feed on living worlds. In this way, the planet of Archopia became his very first victim and set the tone for his future adventures across the cosmic realm. While he turned into the destroyer of worlds after consuming Archopia, he did restore life on this planet in one of his most shocking acts, after his powers were inverted in the Ultimates Volume 2. The massacre during the Galactus event. And to wrap this list up, we have the infamous Galactus event during the Annihilation storyline, which resulted in the destruction of at least 3 star systems, among other casualties. The Annihilation series is known as one of Marvel's most ambitious story arcs, wherein Annihilus managed to unleash an alien army upon the universe. These aliens could be best likened to a cosmic plague of locusts that went from one world to another and turned them into wasteland, while Annihilus even recruited Galactus to do his dirty work. While Marvel's cosmic heroes stepped in to free Galactus from Annihilus' control, Galactus was furious over the fact that he was used as a weapon. This led to the Galactus event, wherein he destroyed the Annihilation Wave and 3-star system, even though Annihilus's defeat came at the cost of a lot of destruction left behind a desolate space known as the Galactus Obliteration Perimeter. The universe was saved from Annihilus's tyranny at last. Marvelous verdict. And with that, we've explored some of Galactus's darkest moments, ranging from his decision to obliterate Sakar and New Corbin to unleashing entities such as Tyrant and Black Winter. While we've always known Galactus to be a terrorizing entity, we hope this video gave you a little more insight into some of his most destructive decisions. And we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.